Well, my name is Julie Moody and I'm one of the subject librarians in the academic support team in the library. And I'm one of a team of 11 and I work with students and staff in the School of Nursing and Midwifery and the School of Education. Our case study is about the use of Xerte online tutorials in our information literacy sessions that we run with students and staff. Yes, we started off by wanting to produce some online tutorials, and that was the motivation for using Xerte. We have to do information literacy sessions with staff and students, and quite often we are given just 50 minutes or an hour to cover quite a lot of different topics. And we also have a lot of students who are part-time and are distance learners, not just the average undergraduate student who comes onto campus and uses the library facilities. We have some students that never come onto campus at all, and we wanted to have an easy way of explaining to them how to use the library, and also we wanted to have things that we could use in our information literacy sessions. We set up a website called LILIPAD, which stands for Learning Information Literacy in Plymouth Academic Development, and this was a good way of hosting our tutorials on different aspects of information literacy. So we decided to use Xerte because it was an easy to use technology, and we could embed videos, we could embed some interactivity so that it wasn't just a presentation tool, it was also teaching people something. Right, we have to deliver information literacy. Quite often it's in 1 hour, and there are a lot of topics that we'd like to cover. We also have a lot of students who are part-time and are distance or out on placement quite a lot. So we thought if we could provide something that they could access anytime, anywhere, at the point of need, then this would be a real positive move for our team. Also using Xerte, they're quite flexible and they're easy to use, and they also could accommodate different learning styles. So we could have things on our LILIPAD site which students could get quite quick information from, some PDFs of information, but we also wanted some videos so that people could actually see what was happening. This is particularly important when people are working off campus, because some of the library systems work very easily on campus, but off campus there are extra things that have to be got across the students so that they can actually access the full range of materials. So it was very important that we could show them exactly what they would see, and Xerte was an ideal way of doing that because you can embed YouTube videos in there, and you can also include some interactivity, so exercises that students could work through to test their knowledge and make sure that they'd understood, rather than just having a lecture style presentation. So it's a real positive move for us. Well, from a standalone tutorial which was hosted on the LILIPAD site, we had a whole bank of materials which we then thought actually we could use these in our sessions and get the students to actually work through some of the exercises during one of our sessions. Again, getting away from the lecture style where students sit there passively and listen. It breaks up a session. You can get them to work on the tutorial if you're in a computer lab, and if you're not in a computer lab, I have done this with some of the school groups that come to visit the library. You can just work through and talk them through and get them to discuss and talk about the answers in an in-class situation. So we've all of the team have used some of the individual learning objects that we've created in Xerte during their information literacy sessions. And then following on from that, I personally have also used Xerte as a framework for a presentation. So instead of using PowerPoint, I've set up all of the information that I wanted to cover in a Xerte and divided it up into different sections, part of the session, things that I wanted to cover. So for instance, with the nursing students, the first year nursing students in their introductory session, I did a section on using e-books and how to do those, and then put in some interactive exercises to get them to practice. Then we did something on searching and creating keywords for an information search. And then the final section was looking at how they could actually find information in the library using the electronic resources. So you could plan your whole session into sections and have the sections clearly delineated in the Xerte with follow-up exercises which the students could then work on either in pairs, we've done discussions and things, or working on their own, working through a particular tutorial. And they can work on it at their own pace, and the beauty of it is then that you've just got one hyperlink and you can put it onto a Tulip site, and the students can go back again and work through it at their own pace. So anybody who's not grasped everything that you were trying to cover in the session, because usually in our sessions you're covering quite a lot of information, they've got the confidence then, because they think, oh well, that's great, I can go back and look at it again and work through it. Well, we feel that it's really easy and quick to use, and you don't really need any technical support. You can just get on with it, which is always quite good. It's fairly intuitive, and so that is a major benefit. It also updates immediately, so if you've created and published a learning object and then you discover that you spelt something wrong, you can just go back in, make the change, save it again, and it immediately updates, and you don't have to go and change the URL. The links are all stable, which is great. If you've put the link in lots of different places, you don't have to go around trying to change it all. For the students, it's really good because of all the accessibility features. You can change the colours, change the font size, and you can have text-to-speech. So for accessibility, it's also a very, very good tool. And the students have fed back that it's very easy to use, and they like the fact that during our sessions they can do something practical, because then the information actually goes in and they remember what they're doing.